Yes, we are live, and I have a very special couple today, and it is UAP UK Josh and Artemis Prime, and they're very much in love, and they started their own channel, PRIMETIME. So now, introducing Artemis Prime. Hello, lady.
Hi. How are you?
And I'm good. And now introducing the Prince, Mr. Josh. How are
Hi,
you, sir?
Max. I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good, and I just told you I'm hungover, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
hey, guys, let's start with you guys being a couple, which is kind of unique in the UAP community. First of all, there's not a lot of women, but then having a couple, I think that's a first. So, how did this unfold? Do tell, any one of you.
Do you want to tell the story, Artemis, or you can do it? You can do it. You can do it.
Okay. Okay, he's done it before. I'll do it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't remember who started following who, but I know that there was like some creeping that went on behind the
Of course,
scenes
yeah. Standard, yeah.
on Joshy's part. No, I'm just kidding. Probably both of our parts, but I didn't really know what he looked like very much. I just replied to his Insta story one day about um an interview that was coming up. He shared Disclosure Team's interview. I
Yeah.
think it was with Jane, UFO
UFO
Jane.
Jane, yeah. UFO
Right.
Jane,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he shared it, and I think I just replied like that I was excited for it. And he was like, "Yeah, it should be good." And then I don't know, we just started talking, and I don't know, we kind of went back to our conversations, and we started flirting like pretty much right away. I don't know why, but we did. We were just being
Oh,
cheeky,
you
and yeah, I don't know. And then it was
so
kind of
naughty.
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
but I guess it turned into something real.
yeah.
And now, Josh, I don't know if I can disclose this, but I think you're going to move, right?
Yeah, well, I've literally just got my passport through. So we're just going to look at flights. So we're thinking, well, we were just talking before the show actually. So it's Canadian Thanksgiving, and I think it's the 11th of October. Um,
All right.
I think it's then. So we're going to try and I'm going to try and come before then. So yeah, within the next like week or so, I should be there. Yeah, looking forward to
Uh,
it.
wow, I think
Yeah.
that's just amazing. You guys
Yeah,
met in the community, and it turned into some love. I love it. So let
Yeah.
me ask you, both of you guys, starting with you, Artemis. How did you get into the topic?
Ooh, I've kind of always been into the like science fiction topic and um just as a kid like watching like Star Trek with my dad and just getting into all that. I've always been curious about what's out there. I haven't had any big like experiences myself. I've had some like weird things come like going on. Some paranormal things that are weird that have went on, but um yeah, I've just always gravitated towards the topic. And then in the last few years, just discovering more, well, discovering UFO Twitter, first of all. That was like a
Right.
whole thing. I
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing. And
Me
then
neither.
like yeah, and it's kind of nuts sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean it is good, and like a lot of information's shared there, and definitely brought me to like so many different people. And then in the last few months, like working with the Unidentified Celebrity Review and Singularity
Yeah.
Lab. And I was doing a lot of work behind the scenes for them and then a bit on the scenes, and that was great. Um, and yeah, just kind of just always been fascinated and really want to get out there. And seeing that there's not a lot of women kind of made me, you know, it was kind of like be the change that you want to see. So it's like, um, I
Women.
have to put
Wo-
myself out there in order to have more women speak. And now we, you
Oh no,
know,
I have to commend you for that because I know for a fact there's a lot of
yeah,
women out there, but there's not a lot of them who are actually quite vocal, who are willing to
yeah,
put their necks out. So thank you for that. It's
yeah, thank
much
you.
needed that there's going to be a little bit of a female energy in this
definitely.
Yeah,
community. except for instead of all these nerdy guys like me. So
And me, yeah.
I know. Well, I fell in love with one, so no, no, very nerdy on the inside. So
on that note,
Yeah.
on that note, Josh, do tell how you got into the topic, man. I know you've told me before, but let's tell it again for the viewers.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been involved. Well, in terms of being like public, in terms of like my page on Instagram and Twitter, I've only been doing that since June of this year, I think. But I've been researching it since my school days, so probably like my early teens and stuff. So I got into it. I think I told you this last time. I picked up a book from school. It was from like the library. It was like a UFO book, but it was just like a picture book with like pictures of UFOs in there. That kind of sparked like my interest in like the topic, and it kind of just took off since there. And when I got into my teens and stuff, and like I started to use the internet a lot more, that's when I started to really research it. And I started to read a lot of books. I read like the Chariots of the Gods book by Eric von
Däniken.
Yeah, that's the one. So I read that. So I've been doing it for a very long time, but it's only recently where I've kind of had like the confidence to come online and talk about it all. It's mainly down to Vinny, to be fair. Like I started to follow his page like a few months ago, and we were talking in the background for a while, and he was kind of the one who said, look, you need to kind of push yourself and start to do more. And and here I am. That's it.
On that note, that's Vinny right there. Thank you, Vinny, for the super sticker. You're an awesome guy. By the way, Vinny had some big ass news today. I just saw it on my feed. He's gonna interview Ralph Blumenthal. That's
Ralph Blumenthal. Yeah,
nice.
I posted a video actually about him a couple of days ago about the experience side. So that's really cool that he's got to
really cool.
Talk to him. Yeah, really cool.
So jelly now.
Damn
But no, good for you, Vinny. He's a warrior. I love that guy, and he does amazing work. And of course, he's my colleague because we started the Owls of Disclosure with Mr. Sean Rush, myself, and Vinny. And you guys are always welcome. So
cool.
Great.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And talking about channels, drum roll, PRIMETIME.
Yes.
Tell me, guys. Tell me about PRIMETIME. What is it? You guys are. What is going to be your edge? What are you gonna give to the UAP community?
Well, we want to do like a broad kind of take on like the topic. Really, we're just so passionate about lots of different stuff. Like we're obviously really into UAP and UFOs, but we're really into science and futurism and mental health as well. I know Artemis, she's really passionate about that, so we kind of wanted to talk about that side of things as well. I really like the way the singular I can't even speak.
Singularity?
Yes.
Singularity Lab.
Yes. What they do, because they have like a really broad kind of range of guests they have on, so we kind of want to kind of go down that route, if that makes sense, and have like a broader kind of discussion about the topic and kind of link it all together as well, somehow. So
a little bit out of the box, huh? Like you're gonna explore different edges on the topic. And Artemis, what is it what you would like to explore on PRIMETIME?
I mean, we agree a lot on the same topics, and it's crazy. Like that's kind of one of the things that really made us feel so connected, is that we feel so passionately about so many of the same things. Like even mental health, I didn't think that Josh would be really as into that as I was. But no, not at all. Like, I mean, mental health. Yeah.
Well,
but like, the more we talked about it, it's like another thing that we just agreed how important it is, and how just all of these topics we want to explore.
So what is the connection between mental health, your interest, and UAP? What is it that connects with that?
Well, mental health is, for for that topic, it would be more general. But in UAP terms, I mean, mental health is greatly, UAPs can greatly affect your mental health. If you are somebody who's had an experience that
Right.
could have affected your mental health in a positive or a negative way.
Well,
And
that's interesting. That's really really interesting because, of course, before 2017, whenever someone was even talking about UFO UAP, there was something wrong with your mental health, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they would actually
yeah.
doubt you.
No, it's
So
true. Yeah. And even that, like what effects has that had where somebody, is finally, let's say, believed now, but has been saying the same story since, let's say, they were a teenager and had that experience and were
right,
never believed, but now all of a sudden people are starting to give you a chance. I mean, I think that mental health is kind of weaved into like your daily life, no matter what you're doing, if it's like no matter what topic it is, because it's you as a person, and the way that you'll perceive things will be affected by your mental health. Were you in a terrible state, in a positive state, and are you somebody who takes care of your mental health? Um,
right.
are you somebody who maybe neglects it or doesn't have time, like, in your mind doesn't have time for it? And so you're stressed, maybe seeing different things. I mean,
Well, it's
there's so
so
many things
interesting.
that can affect it. Yeah.
It's so interesting, and I love it that you guys are willing to take a deep dive into that because my friend Sean Rush and me, we had a weird experience. Actually, quite a similar experience. We had both of us had a stressful period in our lives, and that is when we had a sighting. My
Yeah.
first, his first, and it was in a time where maybe it's because of your emotions are maybe switching off some kind of a prohibitor, or but something happened, and apparently I was vulnerable enough to see something. So was Sean. So Josh, how do you perceive this? Do you think mental health, consciousness, a switch maybe is something that we should look into?
Of course, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it's all kind of linked together. Like the consciousness side of this is a massive part of like the topic. Um, and it's only now, I mean, Lou started to get into that side of things as well when I've heard him speak in the last
True.
few weeks. So I think we're beginning to kind of explore that in a more serious way. Um, there's so much we don't know, and we're only kind of just really scratching the surface with this topic now.
For
Um,
sure.
so with the mental health side of things as well, I like what you guys said there, and I think with the mental health side of things, it's very transferable. So, you know, I mean, there's been times in my life, when I've went through like a shit spell, and I've needed some support, and especially in this topic as well. I mean, I've been burnt out so many times researching this in like the past, and I think it is good to kind of give that angle for people, and kind of give, if people do need that support, and
Right.
we can kind of put that on our channel to kind of have like a reference point for people to see, and maybe it can help people, in some sort of way. So
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely. So it's really cool you guys are willing to dive into that and maybe help people out if they have some questions. You might be the
Yeah.
go-to channel. It's your niche then,
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
so I love that. I think I've um, asked before with you, Josh, if you ever had an experience. But Artemis, have you ever had an experience?
Um, so I've seen some like interesting things in the sky, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I had one filmed and I saw something and it definitely wasn't a drone or a balloon. It was actually in like broad daylight. Um, it was like wobbling and spinning at the same time, but it was quiet and it had like odd lights. It wasn't like normal lights, and um it wasn't very large either though. It was maybe the size of like, I don't know, like half the size of a car,
Oh, that's
maybe.
quite small.
But
quite small. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe the size of a car. I don't know. It was farther away though, so it's hard to tell.
It reminds me of the
but it
Jet
was
Set.
quiet. What?
Do you still have the footage, or?
I do. I posted it on Twitter, and people kept telling me it was a balloon, and I'm like, no, I saw this with my eyes. It wasn't a balloon. I'm like,
Right.
guys, I'm not that dumb. Like it's not a balloon. Because I saw it with my eyes at the same time, so I'm like, it wasn't.
This is the problem, you know. Whatever you capture with your iPhone camera or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't compare either. But
no, because what you see with your eyes, of course, you know, and whatever you experience at that time is completely different from what you capture on film.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good footage, but I'm assuming it's some kind of drone that's quiet. But I don't know. It would be pretty large, and it was like silent. Like it didn't make any kind of noise. And there are drones like around here all the time because it's like just like a residential, and they make noise. Like you know when a drone is coming. Like it's so obvious.
It's like a swarm of bees.
Yeah, like once you see a drone, you just know what they're like, you know. And people fly them around here all the time. So it just wasn't like that, and I couldn't find anything online because it was an odd shape. It was like kind of like almost like a hoverboard. It was like a shape of like an 8 or something, the letter or the number 8, and it had like odd lights. Yeah, it was really weird. And I'll dig up it's posted on Twitter, but from a while ago.
I would love to see it.
Post it again.
Yeah, I'll retweet it or something. Yeah. And people just kept saying balloons, and I just gave up on UFO Twitter. I was like, okay, because it wasn't a balloon. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a balloon. But maybe
send it to our friend Andy. He's
quite good at
New York
UAP.
UAP.
Nice. Yeah.
He's very good at analyzing footage. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm sure it's a drone, but it was very odd for one. Like, maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Well,
but
you had it. Yeah. You had an experience, Josh, my friend. Have you ever seen anything?
Not UFOs, but I mean, we talked that time, didn't I? I told you my ghost sort of experience. I can tell it again if you want me to.
Please do, man. Please do.
Yeah. So this was when I was about 14 or 15. And it was I've just broken up the school in England, so it was the summer. And I was in my bedroom, and I was like lying down on my bed because it was really hot. So I was like just lying down. And my brother, he was like making loads of noise in the next room. So I had like the pillow over my head, so I couldn't hear him.
Typical siblings.
Yeah. So I was lying down, the pillow was over my head, but at that time I was awake as well. I was wide awake at this point. And like a few minutes later, I felt something on the bed, like something was walking on the bed. Like I could feel like the mattress kind of moving while I was on the bed. So I thought, that's strange. So then when I tried to look and see what it was, that's when something was like it sounds weird, but something like pressed the pillow over my head, and I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't cry out for help. And it felt like that lasted. It was really the scariest thing. What's it was so scary. And even now, just thinking about it kind of scares me now. But and I couldn't cry out for help or anything. It felt like it lasted forever, but it was probably only like a few seconds, really. And then that feeling just kind of stopped, and then it just went away, and I could move. So that was my experience, but I've had so many more in that house. That house was, the house I grew up in was really old.
You told me it. Yeah.
Really old. Yeah. It used to be a brewery, which was converted into a house, and it was from like the 1900s, I think. So it was really
that
old.
Fire pit one that you told me was really spooky. The one that with the coal on the carpet.
Yeah, that's another.
That one was really weird.
Let's go now.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Oh, sorry, that one's not like. Yeah, that one was just really spooky when you told me that one. This
one was creepy. Yeah, I'll tell you this one as well. So, so basically, yeah, so I made the fire in like the fireplace, and the fireplace is kind of like a really old fireplace. It's like an iron door, so there's no way that once you shut that door, there's no way that you can open it unless you really use your strength to open it again.
Right.
So I made the fire. I shut the door so the fire could like build. I went to the kitchen to make a drink, and while I was in the kitchen, the smoke alarm started to go off. I was like, "That's strange." So then I went back into the sitting room where the fireplace was, and the fireplace door was wide open, and there was like bits of coal on fire on the carpet. But it wasn't like next to the fireplace. It was like meters away from the fireplace. It was like someone threw the coal out of the fireplace onto the carpet. So it didn't just fall out and roll onto the ground, if that makes sense. It was like over the other side of the room. It was really
Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were home alone
Wow.
at the time, right?
I was home alone, yeah. Home alone
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
really crazy.
So
I have a
house
ghost
was
story.
just- Go on, Max.
You do?
Yeah, tell us- yeah.
Do it.
Josh, I actually think I told you before.
You did, yeah, you did. But yeah.
Do you guys see these?
Yeah.
Boxing
Boxing
gloves.
gloves? Yeah.
Yeah. So those were given to me by my grandfather when I was 5 years old. Okay, get ready to get some chicken pox. So
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps, you mean, yeah. Not chicken pox, yeah. Goosebumps.
Oh my god! I was like ready to get chicken pox.
Oh my God. Okay.
I
get
think we
ready.
have to. We're gonna coin that from now on.
All right. Yeah, that'll be a snippet. So get ready to get the measles. No, so when I was about 16 years old, I moved to the north of the Netherlands, and I had a horrible southern accent. It sounded really stupid, like the equivalent of maybe Kentucky or something, you know. Anyways, I came in this class, and these kids they would make fun of me about because I had this accent. But then in the South, I was kicked out of about 4 high schools, and this was basically my last chance. So I couldn't afford to get kicked out. So I couldn't really do anything against the bullying. So, and it really bothered me. So, but there was this one dude in particular who was really on my case. And I remember lying in my bed reading a book or something, or a comic, and being really, really frustrated, and you know, thinking about what can I do? I need to do something. You know, I want to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And then these boxing gloves, they were hanging above my door, went like
Started swinging, yeah.
Just, I don't know.
like somebody
Was
smacked
giving
it.
you a sign. No,
I took that
Yeah.
as a sign. I didn't. There were no windows opened. My door wasn't open. It just happened. I was frustrated right at that time, like thinking about what to do. That happened, freaked me out. But the next day I went to school, kicked his ass, didn't get kicked
Nice.
out of school, and now get ready to get the chicken pox. So.
Oh, I'm ready.
So a couple of years ago, my grandfather, he's a Holocaust survivor. He survived about 3 years of Auschwitz death camp. Only
Wow.
one in my family, by the way, is the sole survivor. And we never knew how he did it. But then 2 years ago, he's still alive, by the way, 96 years old.
Wow.
2 years ago,
That's
biographer-
amazing.
I know, right?
Oh, it really
Uh,
is. Yeah.
2-3 years ago, a dude wrote his biography and really researched his story very well, because my grandfather, he just wouldn't talk about, you know, his time in the war, in the camps, wouldn't say anything. And there was nobody really could tell, you know, other people who knew him at the time, because, you know, they're all dead. So this guy took a deep dive, and it turned out he survived Auschwitz by boxing Nazis for their
Wow.
entertainment.
Oh,
And-
wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So
I mean,
he
it's,
gave me
yeah.
gave me those when I was 5 years old.
It's pretty
And I know for
meaningful,
a
though.
fact his father, so my great-grandfather, survived with him almost till the liberation of the death camp, but then was murdered. So I'd like to think that was my great-grandfather.
It's
Wow.
true. I mean, I'm on board with that idea as well. I think it is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to
Those
think that.
gloves are so meaningful. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
really,
those are
really
the gloves.
impressive. Really impressive how like your grandfather did that to
Yeah.
survive.
Honestly, at the
Yeah,
time, you have to do anything to survive, but I mean, I'm so glad he did, but wow.
Well,
yeah,
if you take into account that a healthy, strong person, the average would be 6 weeks of survival in Auschwitz death camp. You know, if you
yeah.
weren't put in the gas chamber right away. So a strong, healthy person could stand about 6 weeks and then would perish from hunger, disease, abuse, whatever. The cold, maybe if it's the wrong. But my grandfather survived 3 years, which is
Unheard
unhuman,
of.
unheard of. Yeah, he was one of the first uh, coming into Auschwitz, actually 1942, which is crazy. They just started really murdering people on a mass, how do you call it? Way.
Ma
Yeah,
yeah,
Mass
mass
killing or whatever.
murder,
Yeah,
mass
yeah.
killing. Have you
that's
ever
crazy though.
asked
That's
like your
crazy.
grandfather if like even if you just did it privately, but like some kind of private interview, like anything to,
Mm.
I don't know. He
Well, he
wouldn't,
has.
Just to
I'm
hear his
guessing.
story. Yeah,
Even if it
Well,
was just between you and him, but like keeping that,
there was some
like that's
things,
so incredible, you know? I mean,
there's one problem.
yeah.
Like my grandfather, he's still alive, but he has been suffering from mental health, Alzheimer's, basically. You know,
Alzheimer. Oh, yeah. My
dementia.
grandma
Yeah,
had it. Yeah, my grandma had
yeah,
it too.
yeah. So you know,
Yeah.
there's not a lot you can get out of him. But
No.
when he was healthy enough, there were some things he would tell. You know, like just snippets, like
Yeah.
that,
Or
like he
just
would
here
see.
and there it would slip.
Yeah, for example, the one thing he taught me or us basically was that one of the ways he survived Auschwitz was by always washing, cleaning up, right? So even if it were in the heart of winter, minus 15 degrees Celsius, he
yeah.
would still go and wash with the cold water and make sure he stayed clean. And this is really important because if you keep clean, that means you keep out disease. It means you keep your integrity, your
Helps your
humanity.
mental health,
It's a mental
honestly.
health thing.
Exactly,
Yeah, definitely,
It
definitely
it
a mental
it
health thing.
actually
Yeah,
really does. It again with mental
exactly.
health, see, but it greatly affects it when you're taking care of yourself in any way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
Um,
So
it
yeah,
keeps him
so
stronger mentally.
definitely, and you know, it keeps you from becoming. There was this thing that was called people who were in Auschwitz. They were so underfed, like basically walking skeletons. They were called a Musulman, and a Musulman was basically someone who was still alive,
Like a
but
mummy.
had but like a zombie, exactly, just a zombie, just going on instinct, and they would have no real. Their eyes would be
it's
how do you call
crazy.
it?
It's crazy.
Yeah, there was
Like
no
that
no emo.
that whole period was just unbelievable. Like when you think about it, it's just like how did that even how was that allowed to happen? It was just crazy. It was unbelievable. You know.
Yeah, well,
It
my
is.
grandfather is kind of a. I still don't know how he did it, man.
Yeah.
It's just he's
Yeah, I
and
know.
oh, by the way, he walked home from
Wow.
Poland to Holland. That was also a thing. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, in his striped inmate gear, you know.
Yeah.
He was just 19 years
Whatever.
old,
Wow.
there's witness accounts of my grandfather showing up in the town where he's from in his inmate gear at his schoolyard, and he just showed up, and people were like, "I think that's Max," because my grandfather's name is Max, and
Oh,
nobody dared to approach him because he had like a horrible skin disease because of I think it it went away, but it was something from the camp. That's why he was losing some hair. He had like bald
Oh,
patches.
alopecia.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It
and
might
that's
it
like
might
from
be.
alopecia. That happens where like
That's like the
chunks
disease
of
where you
your
lose
hair
your hair.
come
Yeah.
out, and it could be induced from like stress and just extreme conditions and
Yeah,
all kinds of things, malnourishment.
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really sad.
So a Catholic priest actually was the only one who approached him, and he said, "Who are you, and where are you going?" And he said, "I don't know. I just don't know." And this guy took him in the church, actually Catholic church, and he cleaned up. He got some work on the farm. That's where he met my grandmother, and that's how it all unfolded. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a crazy story.
Nice.
oh, it is
Very
though.
crazy.
Man, he's
Hey,
lived a life. Wow.
I think we have a guest, guys. Boom.
Oh,
Yo,
hey,
Vinny.
hello.
Can you hear me all right?
I knew it was going to be Vinny as well. I knew it was going to be Vinny.
I just saw.
Like he could
a
stay
message.
away.
I just saw the message from Max saying join us, and I wanted to congratulate you guys, man.
Thanks, Vinny. Mate. Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
I'm really happy for you.
So, Vin, do you have some questions for prime time?
Yeah, wait, I just want to say thank you for sharing that about your grandfather. That was really touching.
Thanks, Max.
I just want to say that before we move on, because that was really touching. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Guys. Thank you. Like a ghost story turned into like my life story. Sorry.
I love it though, honestly. I think these are the kinds of conversations that, I don't know, they just make your heart warm and fuzzy sometimes.
It's good.
And it brings you together, and
it's good to just talk. Yeah. It's just good to talk about life at times, and just, you know, it doesn't have to be about UFOs all the time. We can just talk about life and like the history we all have. So it's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I think in a weird way, it is all connected, you know.
Definitely.
It's a consciousness thing. It's an energy thing. And
it's a mental health thing, big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys for letting me share.
You're welcome.
Vin, ask Prime Time. You know, I've asked them what they were going to do. They're going to focus on mental health for a bit. And maybe you have a question.
Yeah, not so much a question, but I was speaking with Josh the other day, and I'm actually in touch with a clinical psychologist who is interested in the UAP subject. And we've got a little private call, a little private meeting happening next week. So I don't know if Josh, I'm sure you mentioned it to Artemis. So hopefully,
yeah.
Hopefully
Tuesday.
We're in.
I think, was it Tuesday you said, Denny? Or
Tuesday? I'll have to check my schedule. But
you said the
28th,
but I don't know what date that is.
I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
so you know, as soon as the guy contacted me, you guys were the first people that popped into my head, because I knew you were going down that kind of mental health and how things are affecting people. So I thought, you know, I would have spoken to the guy, but I was like, I messaged him going, look, I've got two people who I'd really want you to meet and talk to, and then, you know.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
No, we appreciate that for sure.
Hey, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I think it's really important that you're touching on that mental health aspect, because it's mentioned here and there when we're talking about experiences and stuff like that, but the focus isn't normally on the after effects of sightings and other things. So I think, you know, that's honorable work.
And some people
it's not always easy.
Some people actually have PTSD from having an encounter, right? If you talk to, for example,
for sure,
Sean Cahill told me about that, and this is, and maybe also Robert Salas, like the people who were at like the nuclear air base or the Dutch guys from Soesterberg, you know, they have a lot of questions. It's incredibly important for them to have some care, I guess, you know. So Artemis, what do you think about it? How should people be cared of after having something, an experience like that?
I mean, yeah, I think it depends if it's been a negative or a positive experience, but I definitely think that PTSD it's always associated with the military, but anything traumatic that was substantial in your life that really affected you is PTSD. And I do think that I definitely don't think that that's been talked about a lot of experiencers, and if they've been suffering from any like what's the consequence of their experience? Because even in a positive way, have they really talked about it and shared how they've felt since, and how that's like affected their lives since?
Definitely.
So I think that's important to explore and to just support that space for the people who need it, for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. And are you guys looking into some research on that? Like people who have experiences, maybe even the abduction thing is now kind of quite hot.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It is right now, yeah.
Well, I've been really into John Mack's work for years and years and years.
Oh,
like I've
that's
researched
Rua
a lot.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at his work for a long time. So he's like kind of like the main guy who I've researched into a lot. But there's loads. But in terms of Ross, you've mentioned, you know, you've got your interview with Ross and Vinny in a few days. I mean, is it a few days?
Ralph.
Ralph, sorry, Ralph, that's the one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ralph
so
Blumenthal,
it's like,
yeah.
yes, that's the one. Yeah, so we've got people like that who we can who we can look into and their work. But the experiences side of things, I think it's something we need to all look into and keep an open mind with. I mean, I know that I've forgotten her name now, but the woman who Anjali, I think her name was.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, like she got a lot of stick when she came out, you know, from a lot of people. But I think we all need to have an open mind because we don't know what's going on with this topic at all. So we kind of have to keep every door open and not.
I think people were quick to attack her, and that's what was kind of sad. You know, even if she's not telling the truth, the fact of how people treated her from the start. I mean, think of you as just a person, and if you were on the receiving end of that,
just be respectful at the end of the day.
It was pretty intense, I won't lie. And from a lot of people, different angles. I don't know. Yeah.
So let me shout out to Cristina Gomez. She's been
that's really sad.
She's been in the chat for
a while.
Christina. Hey, Cristina.
We love your show. You're doing amazing work.
Amazing work. Another female in the community.
That's true.
That's
we need to highlight that. Another female in the community. You know, it's important.
Yeah. So depression is huge. Where I am studying on campus, a suicide and others 3 attempts this year. All seems linked to the massive change to social interactions due to the pandemic.
COVID
as
well.
It's honestly, it's really affected so many people, mental health wise, especially people who live alone, like single people, or students, like anybody who's living alone really have felt so isolated.
Yeah.
Depending where you live. In Ontario, we've had, I don't even, like Canada, we've had, I don't know how many lockdowns now, 4, 5. We're scared. We're scared for another one that's going to come.
How many we've had in the UK? I've lost count now, but yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, for us, crazy. It's greatly affected.
So you're not vaccinated yet, or
Yeah.
I'm not, but I will be. But I'm not yet. But I will be. I hope people won't get too judgy on this, but yeah, I'm not anti or pro. I've just been hesitant, just want more data, you know, just
that's
sense,
it.
But sense. I mean, I also haven't had a big reason to. I work from home. I'm not traveling anywhere anytime soon.
Well, I do want to.
But I mean, of course, like it's important too. Yeah.
I do want to share this with you. Like we have a lot of anti-vaxxers in Holland, but they all get sick and die. So
yeah, the same as the UK.
No, I'm not anti. I mean, I will get it for sure, and I think, as these numbers are coming into Ontario and stuff, it is getting more important to at least do your research on it and. But it's becoming mandatory for a lot of things here, in different workplaces. Then I'm sure even if I didn't want to get it, I probably eventually would have to. But I do want to get it. I just haven't. But it's quite available here. Like if I want to go get it right now, I could go to the store and say I want Pfizer, and just they'll give it to me. So it's quite available right now. I don't need an appointment. So that's why it also doesn't seem like I don't know. I don't need to plan for it. I'll just get it.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I do.
So go
I'm
to the
gonna get it
store.
before winter. Yeah, I can go to the store next week. Once
So-
Josh is here, so he could take care of me. That's the plan, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
Let
yeah,
him
yeah.
let him be
True, of
nurse
course, yeah.
Dr. Joshy.
All right, guys, get a room.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
so
Yeah.
I wanna talk to Vinny about Ralph Blumenthal for a little bit. But first, you guys, who are you looking at for having as first guests?
Well, we've got one lined up. I mean, we're in the process of arranging that now. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess. Yeah, but it's
you're gonna be.
it's a big one. It's a big one. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
about it,
you're
but it's a
kicking
big
off
one.
with a big one.
Yeah,
Is this one
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
aware of by any
it
chance?
is.
Yeah,
Vinny,
yeah.
It's the one that you're aware of. Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
it begin with an E and ends with Elizondo? Or
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Don't answer any more
No.
questions.
I'm not going to answer it, but yeah,
they said no.
yeah.
So if it is,
It's
yes,
a good
they
one
are
though,
lying.
Max. It's a good guest for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be. We're gonna
Yeah,
make
well-
sure it's a different spin on everything. We're gonna innovate it for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm very excited, guys. And is there a date when you are gonna kick this off?
We're
Well,
still
we-
waiting on confirmation. Yeah. So
Yeah.
once we do that, we'll launch the guest and the date and time all at the same time. Yeah.
But I've already
Hopefully
done
this
the
week.
post. I've already made the post.
Yeah.
The post is made already. I just need to get like the date and stuff, then I can post it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So,
True.
do you guys want to share with our viewers where they can find you? Your new channel, channels, your own, maybe social media?
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead,
Yeah.
Artemis?
Yeah.
There you go.
So for Twitter, it's J_A PRIMETIME. And for Instagram, it's Josh.Artemis PRIMETIME. I do have all of the links in my link tree for YouTube as well. YouTube
put it in the subscription.
It's like a link. Yeah. Because that'll have the Instagram, the Twitter, and the YouTube, and then it also has my information, and then Josh will have to post for UAP UK as well.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
yeah.
all right.
For me,
Well-
it's just Artemis Prime 24 for everywhere. It's just nice and
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, That's
Yeah.
right in the frame. That's
It's right
cool.
in the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, my man, Ralph Blumenthal, that's huge, dude. How did you
I
pull
know.
that off?
Huge.
That's gonna be
amazing.
really, really cool. Wow.
Congrats.
I'm excited.
Well, congrats on that, Vinny. Congrats.
Thank you, man.
Very-
Thank
yeah.
you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
And
I had some help, so I got to give some shout outs. They know who they are. Go on. Sorry, you were going to say.
No, do tell. Are you going to talk about the abductions?
We are absolutely, I think it's been going on for a while now with the UAPTF report, with the NDAA bill and things like that. Everything's been focused on the military side of things. And, I know a lot of people have been waiting for the experiences to have their time. And I think it's happening now. And I'm glad. I'm glad to see it, It's been needed. They've been waiting in the wings. They deserve it as much as anybody else. So I'm certainly going to be looking into it, speaking to Ralph about it, and then going forward, doing more and more.
It's good to hear.
With that side of things, definitely,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exciting.
So, you have Ralph.
Mhm.
I've been trying to get Leslie. That is mission impossible.
I'm working on
Wow.
that. But Leslie Keane and Ralph Blumenthal, those are the New York Times people, right?
Yeah.
Very important for disclosure because, it was, of course, the 2017 New York Times article that blew this right open, and basically the reason why we are talking to each other right now.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It's basically going back to the source and seeing what they're up to. So are you gonna ask Ralph if he's onto something new?
Yeah, I'm really intriguing because I heard, that he pitched the article to the New York Times and they didn't want to run with it. So, obviously the debrief picked it up. Great stuff. Really happy for them to get it.
Yeah.
So I want to know Ralph's thoughts. You know, he did a lot of work and wrote a book on John Mack. So, you know, he's obviously got the interest and the knowledge on the experiencer side of the phenomena. So, of course, I really want to dig into that. You know, I'm a huge fan of John Mack and stuff.
John Mack's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Yeah. I was talking to Lance Mangia, filmmaker Lance Mangia. You know, he was involved with the phenomenon, James Fox, but made a documentary called Third Eye Spies.
So good.
About it's really good. I saw it. It's, by the way, you can just see it on YouTube. You don't even have to go
free on YouTube.
Yeah, it's free on YouTube. I must have watched it like
Nice.
10 times in the past year.
I can really recommend that film. It's really well done.
Yeah.
But Lance is a very talented filmmaker, so check it out. But he was talking about John Mack, right? A psychiatrist, analyzing the kids from Rua, Zimbabwe, who had the experience of the alien craft landing on their schoolyard and just talking.
The most incredible story, honestly.
It's probably my favorite case. Probably my favorite case.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Well, I can. No, I'm not gonna say it. That's really secret. Sorry.
Whoa.
That was such a tease.
No, sorry.
I'm excited already. I'm excited already.
I have a good idea.
Backstage.
Oh no, I'm getting all red now. Oh, even redder than I already am.
Red.
Sorry.
You're already red.
No, so but the Rua Zimbabwe case, you know, that's indeed one of the most compelling cases there is.
Yeah.
And John Mack, you know, he analyzed those kids. It turned out their net, it wasn't mass hysteria. They weren't deceptive, and it wasn't just one kid. It was like 200 kids, you know. Yeah. So that's an amazing case. Yeah. So Ralph Blumenthal, remote viewing, something was going on.
Somebody in the comments just said a lady from that school gave an interview yesterday. She was 8 at the time. I didn't know people were still doing interviews about that case.
Yeah, there's a few.
I actually want to look into this.
I'm not sure about that interview, but you know, they're all across social media. If you look, you'll find them and you can connect with them.
Still, wow.
They're just not. They don't seem to want to do that many interviews.
Yeah,
but you might find them cropping up here and there. You know.
Yeah. So back to Ralph. He wrote a book on John Mack. Is there something you're going to ask him about the remote viewing, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I only found out last night that it was going to happen, so I've not really had much time to plan because I've got another. I suppose I can give the announcement on here tonight as well if you want one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do it.
Let me just finish. So I will speak to Ralph about that, but I really want to dig into ATIP in December 2017 and all that kind of stuff as well with the article with the New York Times.
Yes.
But I'm going to have another returning guest in a few weeks. Mr. Lou Elizondo again.
No!
Nice.
Yeah, I've been speaking to Lou the last couple of days now. We had a technical issue on my last interview where he was trying to show the AI
the
software.
Yes.
It was a video, So he was going to send it to me, and we just had a few back and forths. And he's just like, "I'll just come back on." I'm like, "Okay." So
I wasn't going to say no. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So October the 13th, he's coming back on my channel.
Awesome.
But then we've just arranged our meeting in London as well, which is at the end of October.
I saw your post about that today. Yeah, congrats on that, Billy.
That's
awesome,
I
thought that's gonna be good.
So what are you gonna do when you're face to face with Lou? You're gonna bring your camera, right?
I'm gonna take a camera, but we're gonna go out for lunch and a couple of beers. Just
Don't do what we did last time.
No.
Too much wine. Yeah, don't do that.
No, I definitely won't.
I know from experience in San Marino and Italy that Lou, you can hold him down.
He can handle his wine. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, that won't be a problem.
So no, I'll have a substantial carb-heavy lunch so I can soak up the alcohol.
You like his carbs too?
Cool.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Well, especially if you're in Italy, why wouldn't you have some pasta?
Oh, of course.
I indulged. I got, when in Rome or San Marino, you and you enjoy. So guys, let me go start with Primetime. So you guys cannot disclose what guests you are gonna have on, but is there some dates we can look at?
Well, we're thinking like I don't even know, but it's going to be in October. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
So
we were thinking mid-October though. It'd be like hopefully around the 16th to 20th ish.
Yeah, we basically want to do it together. So we want to have our studio set up and do it together.
Yeah.
So it's like so we're together doing the interview. So
all right, cool. Well, let us know in time so we can share.
Of course.
We will
brother,
for
yeah,
sure.
Of course, yeah.
It's exciting.
So Vin, you just told a lot of things that are going on. You have Ralph. Maybe again share the date.
Ralph is this Monday, the 27th. I'll put out all the information on my social medias and stuff. So yeah, I'm just seeing if
I was going to give a shout out to Lou from UCR in the chat. He said he's got Ralph on the show today. So
yeah.
Tim McMillan and Ralph.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Vinny, Lou coming up the 13th of October in the show again.
Yeah.
And then we can expect in the end of October you and Lou in London, which should be amazing.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm so jelly now. I want to come to London.
Hey, well, listen, I couldn't make it to San Marino, so this is my second chance.
Max,
let's
touche,
say.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look, man, take it. You only live once. Take it.
Absolutely. I've had to cancel going on a family holiday for it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how happy was your partner for that.
Not too bad. It's only a few days and it's in England, so it's not traveling far. And she's got her parents to help out with our daughter. So it's like, I'm just gonna go to London and.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long was the fight before you got the permission?
No fights, because she knows that it means a lot to me. She wouldn't deny me the chance to meet Lou.
That's amazing.
It's not like you were just going on a trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty important. That's good. It's nice to be supportive of your partner no matter what they're doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
what it's all about.
Well, So sorry. Well, guys, thank you. It was a lot of fun talking to you, and I'm excited for first of all a new female, but also the first couple to start their own
two milestones
channel. Yeah,
really excited. I'm really excited about it. Really excited.
Yeah, I like the way you're gonna approach it with the mental health thing and maybe a bit more. And of course, everybody subscribe as soon as possible. Make sure you set the alerts and let's go. I'm gonna be definitely watching this.
Thanks,
Vin, Disclosure Team, please subscribe to Vinny. He's doing amazing work. He gets amazing guests. And if you are not subscribed to Vinny, you're an idiot. So,
true words.
All right, guys, thank you. And
thanks for having us so much.
Thanks,
probably
Max,
talk to you tomorrow or something.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Take care.
Ciao.